Hey YouTube, back again here with another video. We're going to go through real quick on the up close part here of the Horizontech KRIXUS. Now we're going to go up top and we'll talk more about what's going on with this and with many of the other ceramic coilless tanks that are out there. There's a big issue that I'm noticing, and it's happening with all of them. And I think that everybody needs to be aware. I see some of the reviewers just coming on talking about this tank. Oh, it works great, blah blah blah, and which it does. It vapes well once you figure out what device to use it on and things of that nature. So, real quick, we'll go through this. Here's the package. Nice plastic pack. All right, pops open. Got a little card. This shows you how to replace the cotton. This is a cotton replaceable wick here. You can screw it apart. I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, so you got that. Now in the package, you got a spare tank, some O-rings in here. Don't need any screws for this one. You get a little box of cotton. It's already kind of pre-cut to the size that you need. And you're still going to have to do some trimming and some thinning out, but, you know, it's close to what you need. You do get a second coil head. Alright. Now the resistance on these is, well, it starts off around 0.4. And I'll explain more about that shortly. So how these coil heads work, okay, you can see down in the middle, you got the ceramic, and we'll bust this one apart. So you just unthread this top part here, pull it off. If this is all wet and used up, the cotton, you know, would be stuck here or come apart, whatever the case. So what you would do now, you know, here's the ceramic part. And I actually used this one. I rebuilt it a couple times, and I dry burned it very, very lightly, about 16 watts, you know, a little bit at a time, till it knocked off all the dark gunk that was on it. But yeah, this is what gets hot. This is what vaporizes your liquid in this one. Okay. So that's your coil head. I'll have to fix that one later. Now they're very fiddly, very fiddly to wick. You got to get it on there just right. Can't be too thin because it'll leak. Can't be too thick because when you put the cap on it, it's going to bunch it all down. But you take your time, and eventually you get it set. I had that one set. Now it's going to take me forever to figure it out, but that's okay. Sacrifice for YouTube. That's what you do. Okay, so now to the star of the show. Here is the tank. Okay. You know, pretty nice looking tank. I like the look of it. Alright, real simple. You got your drip tip here, plastic coated on the bottom, and yes, you absolutely need it for this tank. Again, we'll talk about that later too. Pretty big, you know, wide open. Alright, you got top fill. Pop this off, pour your juice down in the hole, nice and simple, and then your tank section will separate from the bottom half. Okay, so there's the inside of that. Nothing much to see. Liquid goes in through the holes. This is how the coil sits into the base. Just threads in. I keep saying coil. No coil in these. But these are how the heating heads, or ceramic elements, whatever you want to call them. Alright, they thread in. Now they do sell more of these. They're about 14 bucks. Alright. And your adjustable airflow. Very airy tank. I use it to close down probably about to there. Alright, plenty of air in this guy. So that'll pretty much do it for the up close part. You see the tank, you get the idea. Alright, I got this from vapordna.com. All right, they have the tank, they have the heads, so check it out. All right, we'll go up top and we'll talk about some of the issues and the biggest part to this whole tank. All right, so the KRIXUS, the Horizontech KRIXUS tank, and ceramic, whether rewickable or just the ceramic coil style tanks that they have out now. To start off with, they vape, well, this one so far vapes incredibly. The flavor is incredible right out of the box. I was blown away. As far as anything I've ever vaped, you fill it up, you get it wicked right. I mean, you get it, you know, primed. First vape, flavor was great. However, that's kind of where the buck stops with that. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, or you follow me a little bit, you might notice I got a lot of DNA devices, and it's kind of like everything I have at the moment. It's just kind of the way it went. And so I get the tank, and I have mostly DNA 40s. Yeah, DNA 40s, one SX board that runs off a 26650, and a DNA 200. So I say I'm gonna put it on my DNA 200. Okay, fill it up, put it on my DNA 200. It reads about 0.39 ohms, which it's I think it might have been like 0.4 ohms, whatever the case. I set it to like 45 watts. Take a vape. It's really cool. You know, really weak. There you go. Really anemic. It's like, huh. Alright. So I turn it to 50. Alright. It's coming up now, you know. Then I look down, I notice 0.5 ohms. Wow, it's creeping up. Hit it again. 0.54. 0.55. And I keep vaping until I notice it's like 0.68. And 50 watts at 0.68, you know, it's firing like 6 volts at the tank. And at this point, it's crazy hot. It's too much. So I turn it back down. And now it's not enough. And, you know, the resistance keeps climbing. And as this is happening, it kicks in the temperature control mode. Now it's giving it a hot shot of 100 watts, because this is the profile that I have set up. It's giving it a hot shot of 100 watts, then backing down to 60 watts. Just way too much. So, you know, I'm like, what is going on? So I stick it on a DNA 40, same thing. You know, the resistance is climbing up. So I talked to a buddy of mine who owns a shop, and he has the Tug Tank version, I guess, and he has the KRIXUS, and he's saying, you know, don't use it on a DNA mod, use it on something else. Well, that's all I have is DNA mods. And to me, that's a major issue. You know, it vapes good, it vapes well, but it doesn't vape on a DNA. Now, the wire inside is a tungsten material, and, you know, it's not accurate enough for actual temperature control mode to really actually hold the temperature down. You know, it's just firing the full wattage. It's like jumping in and jumping out. So there's that. SX mod's the same thing. Any mod that the resistance changes while you're vaping it, it's not going to work. My buddy and I, we've come to the conclusion that the cuboid, out of all the devices we tried, the cuboid was working the best. So I went and picked up a Vape Forward Stout. Now, a side note, the Stout, for the price, it's got a couple little ticks, you know, nothing too crazy. You know, if these were being sold for 40 bucks, 50 bucks, I probably wouldn't say much about it, but for the $90 price tag, we'll get to that. Oh, and 26650s. I got some things to say about 26650s. We'll get to that too, but back to the KRIXUS. So, on here, this will range from about 0.38 to about 0.445, 0.55. So it's still got a big you know, a pretty big range, but it's not getting all the way up to like 0.7. Just vaping a little bit better on this. So, pros. Vape's very clean out of the box. It's rewickable. You get 2 out of the box. Top fill, airflow control, that pretty much covers it. You can get that in pretty much anything. Any tank you get, most of them are going to give you those same criteria. Cons. The resistance jumps all over. You can't use it on every device. You can use it on a few, and if you use it on some other ones, you're going to have to keep dialing the voltage down, or the wattage down, the wattage back up. It's going to be all over the place. Wicking is a little finicky. You know, it kind of is what it is. You know, that's pretty much it. The technology is there. The ceramic idea is there. The vape, you could tell, like, you know, the vape, it's right there. If we could get the resistance creep thing figured out, maybe resistance lock in Canthal mode, or a TCR value for this you know, material they're using inside of the ceramic cores. You know, maybe that'll fix it. But these, I don't recommend these tanks. They're not there yet. They're getting there. They're close. They got some good things, but they're just way too inconsistent to vape. It just annoys me it just annoys me. It's just really annoying to use. And it gets crazy hot. I mean, this thing, after 10, 12 pulls on it, it's you can barely even touch it. Barely even touch it. Now, that's pretty much it. You know, that's what I got to say about it. It's a decent vape. It needs some improvements. Definitely needs some improvements. This is another early technology thing that's going to need some adjusting. So, take it for what it is. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.